Welcome back, everybody. Here we are getting started with Onshape. We're in our second day of activities, and you might notice that I've cleaned up my Onshape level. I've added some folders. As you get onto Onshape and you start creating more files, you're going to want to save those documents in folders to prevent the clutter. So in order to do that, you just click Create folder, and you can use the same techniques you use in other File Explorer menus to control those folders. For example, if I've got something in here that's in my IAD folder that I've included, this I really want to put this in my personal folder, so I drag it back to the top level, go back to my top level, and here's that document, which I can drag into my personal folder. So that document is now in that personal folder. To get back to the top level, just click My Onshape, and here we are. So let's go back into the document we created yesterday. Document I created yesterday, I put in my class folder. And remember I called it Getting Started. And in this activity, we had drawn a cylinder and a box using our sketch tool and our extrude tool. Today we're going to make a box a structure that has multiple extrusions, and we're going to do so in a new Part Studio. So by clicking the plus sign at the bottom of the screen, I can create a new Part Studio, which I can click on a rename. And at this time, I'm going to rename it Extrusion Practice. I like to get in the habit of naming these tabs. It gets really confusing rather quickly when you have 5 or 10 tabs across the bottom, and they're just called tab 1, tab 2, tab 3. Part Studio 1, Part Studio 2, Part Studio 3. If you give them a name that tells you what it is, so box, extrusion practice, hinge, cylinder, hinge assembly, that's descriptive of what it is, and it's easier to find. Now on the bright side, when you hover over the tab, it also shows you what you've got. Your extrusion practice just gives you a blank icon for the Part Studio because we haven't created anything. So let's go ahead and create something. I'm going to go to my sketch tool again, as always. We're going to pick one of the planes to work from. I like working from the front plane most of the time, so we're going to do that again here. And I'm going to hit the front button so that I can look at that straight on. We're just going to create a box again, so we'll use the rectangle tool. There's two different rectangle tools to choose from, the corner rectangle and the center point rectangle. R is the center point rectangle on your keyboard, and key G on your keyboard is the corner rectangle. We'll use the center point rectangle so we can center on the origin. Clicking on the origin, click and release my mouse, and then I'm going to drag it out. Click again. I've just created a rectangle. You see now my new sketch 1 is available. And by clicking on the corner of the cube, I can get back into my isometric 3D space. And we're going to extrude that by clicking the extrusion tool and then clicking in the space that we would like to extrude. Right now, there's only one choice for a place to extrude, and that's inside of that rectangle. You'll see as we move forward that you'll soon have multiple choices for places to extrude. I hit the check mark to complete that, and you can see sketch 1 was the sketch that we drew our rectangle on, and extrude 1 was the original. So I can come in and rename these features. So we'll just call that rectangle, call it rectangle 1, and I can rename the box, and we'll call that box 1. So now I have rectangle 1 and box 1. Now this is where we were yesterday, and you would like to move forward. Well, the cool thing is we can continue using these tools by hitting the sketch button again, clicking on the surface that we would like to add to. We're no longer constrained to just drawing on those planes. So we'll draw on that surface, and then we'll pick one of our drawing elements up here. Take a circle this time, and hit the check mark. Now when we go to hit our extrusion, we have choice between extruding the area outside the circle or the area inside the circle. I'm going to click the area inside the circle, and we're going to pull it out. Now, one thing that you should check is that we can also remove material, so make that a hole, and we could intersect material. So add is the default button, which adds additional material to our part. Remove removes material, and intersect grabs the things that are common between the existing model and your new sketch. We're going to hit the check mark box here, and that did our extrusion. Let's go ahead and do a hole through the feature. So we're going to put a hole down through the top. I'm going to hit the sketch button, grab the top of that, add another hole. We'll do a rectangular hole this time, and we'll use the center point rectangle again. I'm put my mouse to the center of the space that I want to draw the hole in, drag it out, finish my sketch. Again, going back to my cube, I like my cube. Extrude, pick the space that we would like to extrude, and we're going to go ahead and go the other direction. Now, I'm going to get a error message up here telling me that there's no geometry to change because I'm currently still in add, so I'm going to switch over to remove. And as far as the location, we're going to kick it through all. Hit the check mark. Now I have a rectangular hole all the way through the part. So far we have created the box. We've created extrusion one, extrude one, which again we can rename. We'll just call that cylinder. And then we got extrusion 2, which I'm going to call rectangular hole. So far we have used our sketch tools to create an original box, to extrude a feature on top of it to add, and to extrude a feature on top of it to remove. There's other choices we have. The last one is the intersect tool. So we're going to pick the side of the object now just to demonstrate that intersect tool. And we're going to zoom out. And I'm going to let's draw something that's a little bit different this time. And now if I drew a circle and I extrude this feature, I grab my circle and grab this space, get all that space, and we switch to intersect. I change that, we're going to change our distance to through all, and check. Now we have a model that is all of the spaces that were originally there and intersected with a new cylinder. So this is how we get a lot of our more complex shapes. So hopefully you can create these, have fun with them, enjoy, and go be awesome.